So my name is Youdi Schipper. I work with on an intervention called Kiufunza. Kiufunza is a teacher motivation program, teacher incentives program, provides small financial incentives for skills that students can do in the classroom of a teacher. So we pay this money directly to the teacher's bank account. Personally, and it really is linked to the outcomes of the students in their classroom, and that means that we work on something that is quite different from many other organizations. So we don't do any training for the teachers. We know they have been trained in the system, and so we basically try to provide them with agency rather than with more training. And so we don't take them out of the classroom, we don't tell them to do things differently, but we challenge them to do what they are already doing more intensively. And we do that in the first 3 grades of public primary schools. And the outcome is really to improve. We're really looking to improve these learning outcomes for foundational literacy and numeracy. So that's what we've been doing for a number of years now. We've done that first in more research settings, and recently, based on the success with the low cost and the impact that we're having, we're trying to scale this work up because we really believe that the incentive side is a missing piece of the puzzle. So yeah, that's where we are. In 2024, we were invited to join the Global Schools Forum in their what is called Impact Accelerator track, which was kind of a new thing, but it helps organizations like ours to kind of boost our work and become more impactful and larger. And so what GSF proposed was to start with to identify our needs, and basically they did they offered a diagnostic analysis looking at what within the team, what do people say that is there. What is working really well, what is not working so well, where do you need support? So basically we mapped that, and there was a lot of agreement within our team of where our strong points were and where we needed support. And so what came out very, very clearly there was sustainability, financial sustainability. And I think this is something that a lot of organizations recognize. If you want to grow, if you want to sustain your work, you need money, and so that's where the fundraising came in. So we really identified fundraising as a need, but luckily this fundraising wasn't proposed to us in a very narrow way, but there were actually two things. So one is to become more visible, and the other one is then to use that visibility to become more fundable. And so basically we were offered 2 very practical tracks, and I would speak very highly about both of them. So one was what we would call branding or visibility. This was done with a team called Mighty Ally, and the other one was more straightforward fundraising, very, very hands-on, practical, with a group called Black Fox Global. And we've done both of those. I would recommend anyone to do them. It's really helpful. Of course, a little bit depending on where you are. But for example, I have an academic background, so I know a lot about impact. I know a lot about measurement, but I didn't have a lot of experience with fundraising, and I found it fascinating how these tracks have helped us. And so the branding is we did something called the Brand Bootcamp. I think it's called slightly different now, but that was most of the work. I would say it was more intensive than the fundraising track. But there we were really given a lot of homework. It was time intensive, so people should also be aware of that and put it in their calendars. But it was super helpful because we knew quite well what we were doing, but this visibility, this boot camp really forced us to now become very explicit about the messaging, about the theory of change, about everything that you need to label, that you need to formulate. And so I thought that was very, very helpful. And then I think the right order is to do that first. It's most of the work. And then there's the fundraising track, which is more practical. But of course, you can't do a really good fundraising if you don't have that whole communications visibility package right. So I think, and we also did it in that order. So first visibility, branding, and then fundraising. So that's our experience, and we loved it.